Hey guys, Underground Geek here. So for this video, it's a little bit different than the other one that I did. This is Spider-Gwen versus Gwenpool. And the reason I did this is kind of because that whole controversy that's been going on with the Gwenpool assistant editor, who shall not be named. But I saw the artists for this comic book, and I really liked them. And then I saw this random Spider-Gwen issue, and I said, I'll just pick two random ones, and I'll put them against each other since they have similar names, similar characters, and just see who comes out on top. Well, in all fairness, I picked the wrong ones, because this issue is actually very good, and this one's probably one of the worst Spider-Man comics I've ever read. And so here we go. Anyway, we're going to start with the bad one. Isn't that good? Well, anyway, this is Spider-Gwen issue 11, and if you can already tell by the issue, things are not going good for Spider-Gwen. Okay. Alright, so on this issue, it kind of tells you a bit of the backstory of what's going on with her. She's having some kind of problem with her powers. She's losing them, and that sucks because I want a superhero that's got powers, and if you go through an issue where they don't have powers, it's just kind of boring because they're just moping around. Well, that's what you're gonna get. Alright, so we got her kind of just hanging out here on top of the sign here, and she sees this bandit come by, Bodega Bandit. He's got this cool little like chipmunk thing or something that rides on his back, which is kind of awesome and weird at the same time, kind of Looney Tunes style. But anyway, he's stealing some bread or something from this place, and she tells him to stop, and he's like, "Who the heck are you? You're sitting on top of the sign." And she's all, blah blah, I'm sulking. And then pow, the store owner comes and stops him. Well, then that kind of gets everything started for the mood and everything. And the art is okay in this issue. It's alright. But the other one's a lot better. Anyway, something's going on with her dad. He's not doing so well. You've got this guy here named Reed, and I don't know if it's kind of like a hint towards Reed Richards, because he talks about Reed Richards, but it better not be. This better not be Reed Richards in her universe, because no. Alright, so buy their gummies, buy their multivitamin gummies, they'll turn you into Avengers. Moving on. So he's fixing her device, which is actually going to let her have the Spider-Woman powers. And that's kind of a cool take, you get like a time-released little gizmo there that gives you your abilities. It's, it's neat, whatever. Alright, so they're trying to fix it at the same time. Frank Castle, which is this weird cop in her universe, is trying to get Harry Osborn to team up with him, and he stole one of her little gizmos that gives her the abilities. Anyway, Harry's, not going to have any of it, and that doesn't work, so he goes on his own. He's trying to find out kind of who Spider-Woman is and what's going on behind the scenes. And then you get these two detectives here. They're kind of trailing Frank Castle, trying to find out what he's doing, and so it's all kind of interesting, but I don't really like the way that they've drawn Frank Castle here. I mean, I don't know. I'd be kind of picky. But look at her. Look at her. Really? Look at this detective. Could you draw anybody any more attractive? Frank Castle is more attractive at this point than her. Look at that. What? Anyway, so you got this cool picture of Frank Castle here, I guess back in his army days, or Marine days. I'm sorry, Marine days. And then you cut randomly back to Spider-Gwen, and she's talking to her random Asian friend, and then this goes on. He hangs up on her because it's so boring, and so then she's sitting here thinking about all of her problems, blah 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 blah, and then she's like, "Look, social justice warriors! Look at all those failed characters. They're so great." And then we move along, and it kind of, she's talking about how all these spider characters can't help her because they're too busy. Spider-Woman, she's had a baby, so obviously she can't do anything because she's now handicapped. And then you got Silk, which is actually a pretty interesting character, and they said, you know, we're just going to have her do Zilch because she's got emotional issues. And then Captain America, which is a woman with no muscle tone, is not going to be able to help her either for some reason. Got this cool kind of homage to Spider-Man when he gets unmasked. And then you've got Matt Murdock is actually the leader of the Hand in her universe, and he's not going to help. So then the bandit Bordega kind of sees her sitting here moping and wants to ask questions, and I just really like this little guy. He looks cool. Nibble, 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 munch, munch, munch. But the Hamburglar here is sitting here asking her questions, and he's like, nobody cares, you know, every time I break the law I get arrested and my dad gets me out because nobody cares. And she says, you know, well, I care. And he says, well, the only other person I know that cares is Spider-Woman. And he doesn't really ask her if she's Spider-Woman, but he, you know, he's kind of hinting towards it. Well, anyway, moving on, fake Reed Richards here has fixed a device to give her Shazam powers. So now she can be Spider-Gwen once again, you know. So right here at the end of the issue, now we finally got her problems fixed. She's like, oh, you know, Dad, with great power comes great responsibility, or something like that. I gotta go save the world. And Frank Castle's obviously on to something. He's watching her, so he's fixing to go ham with his Punisher vest here. She's, you know, go Power Ranging her up. And that's the end of the issue. You know, this is kind of drawn okay, but I mean, of course, she's sitting here with her negative A cups and all that kind of stuff, and that's just being picky. But I mean, could you not draw her a little bit more female? This could have been anybody. I like the way they draw the feet, though. I don't know, it's kind of cool. Hey, look. The detective. What? Why? Why are they drawing a detective like this? Anyway, issue number 11. Okay. Issue number 12 actually has a pretty cool cover, but I doubt it's going to be any better. Spider-Gwen, issue 11. Alright. So now we're moving on to the Unbelievable Gwenpool, issue number 3. And I really like the Gurihiru couple there that does the artist work, because if you notice, if you look at this cover here, it reminds you of My Neighbor Hataro, that little kids movie from Japan. She was sitting there with her little umbrella, and then he's sitting there in the rain with her little kitty cat, and then there's a street sign next to him, so it's kind of a homage to that. Well, anyway, it just gets better from this point on. Alright, so you got a little backstory here. She's talking to you about when she fought Thor, and from what I can tell, she's from another universe where, like maybe our universe, where comics are comics, and so she's transported to the actual comic universe, and she knows everything about them because she reads comics. So she's able to beat everybody because she knows everything about them. Alright, so you got the artist here, Rihuru. I don't care about anybody else. But notice, male editor, female assistant editor, she who shall not be named. Alright, so you got the story going here, and I like that the pages are glossy. I know that's picky, but compared to the other comic, this has a lot more life to it. Now, at some points, she's kind of drawn like a Disney princess a little bit, but I don't know, I kind of like that. But anyway, she's working with MODOK in his headquarters, and he's got some henchmen, and he's hired her. And so she's trying to get this guy, Batrook, whatever you say his name, the Jumper, to help her. And he's like, no, you're an idiot, blah, blah, blah. And she says, well, you know, I know everything about everybody, and that's how I beat them, and, you know, you can use me. And at this point, Manic is getting angry because his HR lady cannot find any information on Gwenpool because she's not from this universe, so he can't put her on the books and get her paid. And so he's like, bye, you're gone. And so as we keep going here, he's talking to her and everything, and I kind of like the way they draw him because they got really good facial expressions on there. And I kind of like this Batrock guy because he's kind of like a Batman almost, like a Wolverine Batman French style. But look, he's got her where she'd come through the window right there, and really kind of campy style. Anyway, so she goes to the spandex place because you can just go places to get custom spandex, and she needs pants because she's tired of shaving her legs all the time. And they said, well, you've got a really odd color, we're never going to get it in, so you need to just wait. She's like, that's not cool, dude. So she says, well, I'm needing help because I need citizenship and I need cash, blah, blah, blah. This lady's like, I might have something to help you. Because, we've always got something to help because we're random Asian people. And we just have to have something that helps everybody, and it has to be old. That's not condescending at all. Anyway, we have this magic egg, and we go squish. So now the magic egg gives us a time here, 1 o'clock. So she says, you're gonna have something happen at 1 o'clock. It's gonna help you. It's gonna be good. All right, more ads in here, and it's funny because my wife saw me flipping through this comic, and she said, "Why are there so many ads in that? That's like a magazine. That's not a comic book." And I said, "Exactly. Stop. 1 or 2 pages is okay, but 3 or 4 is too many, especially for this show. Why not art? Really? Nobody watches you." Anyway, moving on. Modoc's over here hanging out. He's finding out more about her, but of course he can't find out where she's come from because she doesn't exist in this universe. So he's talking into his pen. He's trying to figure out what's going on. But he sees the value in her because she stopped Thor just by talking to her because she knew something that only she would know. Okay, so Batrock is trying to teach Gwen how to shoot, and she's like, kill shot, and hits the target like 1 time out of 6. Well, anyway, he's kind of, Batrock at this point is starting to warm up to her a little bit because she's a pretty likable character. I mean, you can't not like her. She's pretty nice to everybody, even when she's not murdering them. And so he's finding out more about her, blah, blah, blah. Sacre bleu, you suck, but at least you have good grouping, is what he's basically saying. So at this point, bam, here comes your boy, Doctor Strange. And Doctor Strange is drawn a little bit like a Disney Frozen character, so I don't really like that, considering how good these guys can draw. But, oh well. Anyway, so he says, look, I'm here to help. He actually grabs her dialogue bubble and finds out that using that yeah, she's actually not from this universe, because you can do that. And so he takes her on this journey, and I don't know, I really like when her mask is not on. She's so much prettier as a character with all the colors without the mask. I really wish they would redesign that to where she didn't have to wear that. But anyway, so then we're in Disney Fantasyland, swirling around here, kind of like there's a show like Adventure Time or something, or Steven Universe, something that had a lot of this kind of stuff going on Cartoon Network. But anyway, he can see her world at this point, and it's funny because he starts looking into her actual world where she came from, and he says, Benedict Cumberbatch. Hey, I guess I could see that. So he obviously sees Benedict Cumberbatch being him in a movie. I just think that's really funny. Alright, so we're moving on here. He's kind of going through her life, so he's seeing where she was born, and the parents, she calls them, look at that, they're babies, look how young they are. And so he says, hey, I can help you, but if I pull these memories out of this reality and put it in our reality, your parents will no longer know who you are. And she says, well, that's probably for the best. And I'm like, what has happened to this girl? that she wants to be out of that reality so bad. And then here's another ad to break it up, because you know I was starting to really like this comic book, and that you need a cashback ad for Marvel MasterCard. Anyway, so pulling the baby memory out very well. Ha ha ha. Frozen Doctor Strange, and puts it in their universe. So now another ad. Now all the memories are in this universe again. And so he says, well, we've only used a little bit of time and you have a lot of time left on your appointment with me. What else would you like? And she said, well, is there a way I can talk to my friend? And it's weird that she's got a skull in that bag, of a shark bag, but I guess, you know, why not? Why not? So he says, well, so as this goes on, all of a sudden, bing, 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 she is on the radar. She's got her social, driver's license, birth certificate, the whole 9 yards. So he's like, this is very strange. She's back with Batrock again, and he's like, guess what we're going to learn today? Leg sweeps. And she's like, oh, I totally knew it. So it ends with Maddox finding out that she's very ordinary, and he doesn't like that because it's supposed to be in his very special top secret group where only really cool people can be in, so he's mad. So the next issue is probably going to be him and her fighting. And look how good that art is. Like, look, fingernails, glasses, the whole 9 yards. It's really, really good. These guys are good. And it sucks that this is what they have to work on. Because imagine how good they could do if they did like a Spider-Woman or a Black Widow with this style of drawing and a good story, you know. And this is what they have. Okay, this side character that we don't really need, but is actually very interesting. So anyway, I digress. Well, sorry Spider-Gwen, I was really hoping you would win, but Gwenpool kind of blew you out of the water with this issue. And it's only issue 3, and you're into issue 11. I'm sure there's a lot of other good issues, but no, you're out of here. So here's your winner. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, aren't you so happy? Isn't she lovely? Anyway, but so guys, that's it for this video. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Maybe give me some ideas for another comic, or just give me some stories maybe about other issues that you've read on these. I really like her costume, and I really do not like Gwenpool's costume, so it's kind of even harder to tell you that she won. But I mean, that's just the way it is. Alright guys, have a good one. Thanks.